Which one? It's a train of lights on behind that. What light is that? I'm just saying that. That's when you tell you to cut it down.
It's good seeing all the faces here today. The time is now 6:03 p.m. And we are going to call the meeting to order. Madam Secretary, roll call. Present. Thank you. If we can all stand for the pledge of allegiance. Madam Chair, please take the motion. Yes. Yeah, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda. Yes, we have the agenda for. Amend the agenda to bring, section 7, communications, decisions, and delegations, under, section 3, recognition of elected officials. Thanks. And if any other comments or amendments, I often need to add to the agenda. I support it. It's been moved by trustee, Dooley. No. Second. It's been moved by trustee Miller and second by trustee Dooley to amend the agenda to move communications, petitions, and delegations to section 3 under recognition of elected officials. Any questions? Rationale, trustee Girls, thank you for asking. From what the feedback that I've received from our community is that this is the time that is designated for them to come get and address us. And with the length of our meetings and presentations, it is not to compare for our staff and the community to have been at work all day and sit here and then for a 3-minute opportunity to sit at the city for several hours. I'm just doing my due diligence based on the feedback I received. Any other questions? Roll call. I don't know yet. Yes.
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 Okay, thank you very much. I also need to make an amendment to the agenda to remove item, resolution honoring of Carrington, which is under regular board agenda, to remove it from the agenda. Thank you. It's been moved and seconded by trustee Gross to remove from regular working agenda under discussion and action, the resolution honoring William Carrington. Any questions? Roll call. Trustee Dillon? No. Trustee Gross?
Yes.
President Hamilton? Yes. Trustee Miller?
No.
Secretary?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, thank you very much. Now can I get a motion to accept the amended agenda, please?
Support.
It's been moved by trustee Gross, supported by treasurer Terry, to accept the amended agenda. Any questions? Roll call. Trustee Gross.
Yes.
President Hamilton. Yes. Trustee Miller.
Yes.
Secretary.
Yes.
Yes. Trustee Dillon.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. Moving down the agenda, so awards recognition. Dr. Lovett, the room is yours. Good evening, trustees, members of our Pontiac School District community. We are very excited to have you here with us this evening, hoping that many of you will return to future board meetings. I am honored to share with you, this is the exciting part of our agenda, but we have an opportunity to celebrate our students who have met or exceeded in reading and math at Pontiac High School or done both. So at this time, I would like to call up, there she is, Principal Clark Franklin, to assist me with the honors. Thank you. When you call your name, please come forward to be recognized. This certificate of achievement is proudly
To Rashawn Boynton for demonstrating academic excellence by achieving the exceeds benchmark level in math and evidence-based reading and writing on the 24-25 PSAT SAT. Congratulations, Rashawn. We are proud of you. Naya Gayton. Elon Harris. Thomas Herr. Leo Reyes. David Flores Bascan. David. Adam Castro. Jade Collins. Isaac Korsky. De'Are Dudley. Leanne Dukes. Zanari Dunn. Teresa Jacintos Aguilar. Teresa. Kamora Jones. Wade Lemire. Harmony Parker Nelson. Harmony. Darion Scruggs. Jadari Sharp Blair. Sienna Taylor. Steve Torres Hernandez. Tiersa Willis. Philip Cook. Jada Hanna. Perla Hernandez Cisneros. Marisol Hernandez. Rose Hobbs. Simone Peters. Nathan Peterson. Natea Rhymes. Avatar Riddle. Evelyn Sacedo. Evelyn. Brian Villo Sandoval. Brian. Krista Hatcher. Jadale Leon Guzman. Jadale. Conley Bowman. Rashad Boynton. Jonathan De La Rosa. Jonathan. Randolph Evans. Randolph. Zaire Eccles. Zaire. Brooke Kaiser. Brooke. Nakari Kurtendall. Nakari. Zaire Aguilera. Priscilla Hernandez Olea. Priscilla. Trevion Keys. Trevion. Lillian Martinez. Ariel Norregos. Joe Bautista Ramirez. Edwin Lopez Morello. Geraldine Guzman Quintero. Byron Deleon Reyes. Byron. Luis Serta Cardell. Luis. Elvin Quinones. Melanie Martinez Ibarra. Aviana Rash. Jason Samples. Jonte Spillman. Please, to our families, to our parents, and everyone that came out to support these young people tonight, we say thank you. It does take a village, and we need everyone in this community to wrap their hands around the young people of Pontiac School District to ensure their success. Yes, we have challenges, but we are blessed every day that children enter our doors. We have an opportunity to teach and educate children to their highest potential. This is just one small sampling of that. So thank you, young people, and thank you to our family and community that are here tonight to support them. We all set, Frank? Okay, you may be seated. Thank you so much. We had 3 Teacher of the Year nominations here in our district. And I hope that those 3 educators are here tonight as we honor and congratulate them. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Ernestine Crenshaw Brown. This certificate of distinction is given in honor and recognition of being recognized as a nominee for the 2026 Oakland County Outstanding Teacher of the Year Award for the elementary school category. Congratulations and thank you for your work and dedication to the students in our district. This next certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Kelly Kramer. This certificate of distinction is given in honor and recognition of being recognized as a nominee for the 2026 Oakland County Outstanding Teacher of the Year Award for the senior high school category. Congratulations and thank you for your hard work and dedication to our students. Thank you. This certificate of distinction is proudly presented to George Mixon. This certificate of distinction is given in honor and recognition of being recognized as a nominee for the 2026 Oakland County Outstanding Teacher of the Year Award for the middle junior high school category. Congratulations and thank you for your work and dedication to the students in our district. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, this next young man I met a couple of years ago, and he is truly exceptional. But when you get a chance to know who his father is, you know why we are bestowing this honor upon him tonight. One of the charges of our schools is, of course, to make sure that our children come to school and they are safe, our children and our staff. And this young man just does it over and over again. But this certificate of distinction is proudly presented to Gregory Gross. This certificate of distinction honors and celebrates Mr. Gregory Gross for his life-saving, let me say that again, his life-saving CPR efforts on a cafeteria worker at International Technology Academy. Thank you for your dedication on behalf of the school district of the city of Pontiac and the Board of Education. There we go. There he is.
Dr. Lorette.
All right, trustees, any comments? Or we can hold them to the end. Anybody, hold them to the end? Did anybody want to give any comments right now? All right, we will hold them to the end. Okay, moving down the agenda, recognition of elected officials. Good evening, trustees. And if we have any elected officials in the audience, this is your time to please stand. If we have any, I didn't see any coming in.
I don't see our former mayor standing, but she needs to stand. Yes.
Dr. Kumar, Governor of Wayne State, friend of mine.
All right, thank you. So now that we've moved up our communications, petitions, and delegations, I do have two. And so your request to address the Pontiac Board of Education for 3 minutes is granted with your commitment that all comments will be delivered with courtesy and civility. Failure to do so will result in forfeiture of your allotted time. The first we have is Pastor Douglas Jones, and then the next we have would be Marcus Kelly.
Good evening, and thank you to the board president, Dr. Hannah, Superintendent Kimberly Leatherette, Pontiac School Board of Trustees. Thank you for our meeting today and this time that you've given to me to express our purpose and desire for our great and historic Pontiac school system. Our goal and purpose, the Greater Pontiac Community Coalition, some of which are here with me today, is to offer any and all of our support, energy, resources, and educational ability to you and our school district. To partner and support in areas of need with resources, information, community engagement, promotion, and assistance. We love our Pontiac schools and need the system to grow and to be an asset to our city and to our county during and beyond this economic explosion and renaissance that we're having within our city. We all can benefit from this economic success. This can only happen with and through collaboration, partnership, open communications, honesty, to acknowledge our weaknesses and needs openly and maximize our strengths. We all want to help not get in the way of our school district, of the decisions being made, but help you achieve your 4 key objectives and focus areas: student achievement, emotional and social, innovation, sustainability, strong relationships. We came today with a hand to lift up and a voice to support and to help with social, mental, emotional issues. How can we, as parents, businesses, churches, residents, and community groups, help you? We await your response because we certainly want to be a part of the growth and the historic value that this school district has long endowed and benefit from. The success of the school district also means success of our residents, of businesses, and our total community. We understand that there are a lack of social service persons within the district. We understand that there's a need. But what we've found is that our community is full of persons, personalities, organizations, and businesses that want to walk with you hand in hand as you move forward. To that end, I'm going to ask Mr. Dwight if he would come forward. To that end, one of the programs that the Greater Pontiac Community Coalition, Oakland County Health Network, the Oakland County, the state of Michigan has, is working with the community, adults and young people, to curb youth violence, youth intervention of drugs and alcoholism. We work with parents, with police, and today we want to give to you all this shirt that says "Time Out, Stop the Violence," and what we're promoting is that we are moving forward to sustainability, to encourage you to not be where we are today, but to dream and succeed of where we can be tomorrow.
Thank
So
you.
I would like to make this presentation to you.
Thank you, Pastor Jones.
That we gave you the proper sizes for these.
Okay, thank
Can
you
we
very
present
much, sir.
those to you? Thank you.
That's fine.
We also want you to know you're invited to our meeting on tomorrow morning. Look forward to seeing you at 8:30.
Marcus Kelly. Is Marcus Kelly here? Okay, we don't have Marcus Kelly. All right, we'll continue on with the agenda. Can I get a motion for the approval of the consent agenda?
Support.
It's been moved by trustee Gross, supported by treasurer Terry for the approval of the consent agenda. Any questions? Roll call.
The personnel item, I would like to address it that we hold off until we have a ratified contract for our teachers to hire any more additional personnel.
Can I get a vote?
President Hannah,
No.
What?
We're voting to move
The
forward.
consent
with
agenda.
Oh, we're moving forward with the consent agenda item. I vote yes for the approval of the consent agenda item.
Part of the vote.
Trustee Miller,
No.
Treasurer Terry,
Just to be clear, this is not for the,
This is to vote to approve the consent agenda items.
yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Dooley? Yeah. And
That's a no.
Trustee Gross?
Yes.
This passes 4-2.
All right, thank you very much. Moving down the agenda for information from the superintendent and administration, Dr. Leverett.
Thank you, Dr. Hannah. At this time, we'll turn it over to our Director of Student Services, Tanya Dixon. She will provide a report on our fall and spring collection count, followed by Ms. Jennifer Dean. She will provide a presentation on our winter benchmark assessment data. Ms. Dixon?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Mr. Jones, you stole some of my thunder. But that's okay. Because before I get to that count presentation, I do want to talk to the community that's here about our attendance. So we are proud to be above 75% many of our days, but the truth is that's not enough. Because behind every percentage from 75 to 100%, there's a gap. And that gap, those are missing students. So I'm asking us to engage our community. If you could please just lean in and help us. I remember growing up during the school hours, for valid reasons, I would not be in school, maybe half day, no school, but it was uncomfortable not to be in school because I tell you what, from the time I got off that city bus to the time I got home, I was stopped by neighbors, by an old man reading his newspaper on the porch. I couldn't go into the store because they were like, why are you here? This is school time. Shouldn't you be in school? Shouldn't you be in class? It didn't matter what was going on except that I was out of school. Those things mattered to me because it made me want to be there. You know, I was being held accountable. So somewhere along the way, we lost a sense of shared responsibility. We became quieter and less willing to step in. I am shouting to the village, please come back, village. Our children still need you. That's for pre-K through 12th grade. We need people to notice. We need people to care. We need our village willing to say something and do something. We need all of us. So this is my cry out. Help us get our kids to school. Because those students we don't see, there are differences between where we are and where we need to be. So tonight I am pleading once again with the entire Pontiac community to help us. If you see a student who should be in school, speak up. If you know a family is struggling, reach out. We don't need a perfect system. Although we are trying, we have attendance teams, we have student ambassadors, we're meeting, we're talking, we're trying to break down those barriers. We need every day to count. We need a present community, and that is all of us, the neighbors, the school, the store clerks, the barbers, the braiders, the hairstylists, the mechanics that are in the shops where the kids are walking by. It's everyone. We're all part of that community. Because when a child is missing from school, that's not just Pontiac School's problem, It's all of our problems, and we need all of us to fix it. So please join in. Be that person that's saying, hey, what are you doing out of school? Or if you notice someone kids in a home and they're just there daily, go knock on the door and ask, what can we do to get you to school? Because it is our problem to fix. Okay? Thank you, Mr. Jones. Okay, so now why I'm here to talk about count. So making every day count and maximizing our efforts. So before we can begin to count a student, we have to make sure they're enrolled. They have to be enrolled at least 2 days before count. They have to be fully scheduled before count, and they have to have attendance before count. So this year before count, these are some of the activities that we did for fall 2025 and spring 2025 is cut off, but I wanted to make sure that you all saw the pictures. At ITA, they had a whole spirit week as it relates to count. The next slide will be the count day averages. So as you see, the percentages represent the students that attended school on count day. 91, 89, 89.88, but there's still their gap of students that we're missing. The district average was 92.86, which is good. We need to make count day every day. So this fall, we submitted 3,793 students to be counted. Once the auditors did what they were going to do and the state did what they needed to do, we were able to claim 3,675. That is pretty good. For spring count, oh, can you skip that one because I put it at the end? Thank you. For spring count, these were our percentages. The lowest being 77, the highest being 95.32. The district average was 87.33. So for spring, we submitted 3,885. That number was submitted on March 18th. It may take some time for the state and the auditors to go through it, and that does not include pre-K. So challenges that we may have, we have difficulty with consistent attendance across all 10 days for secondary schools. That means that the secondary students have to attend every class within 10 days. We had the impact of immigration, which is ICE, so it heightened the fear of our students coming to school. For the younger students whose parents walked into school, they were hesitant to come out to walk them to school because of visibility. Across the nation, 64% of schools reported that their attendance dropped because of immigration fears. In addition to challenges, we have a case-by-case withdrawal process. There's no automatic drop. I look at every single student before they're withdrawn from the school. Our goals for all count submissions: achieve 100% compliance with pupil accounting and audit standards, and reduction in students disqualified due to attendance. That is our goal. So as we're committed to maximizing our attendance because every day should count, my presentation made that clear. If we do what we're supposed to do daily, count day would be just another opportunity to excel. When students have strong attendance, it shows in our community, in our classroom, and in our results, including testing scores. Where's Jenny Dean? So Jenny Dean is going to come up here to talk about testing, unless you guys have comments, questions, or concerns.
Thank you, Ms. Dixon. Any questions?
Yes, Ms. Dixon, was there a reason why the pre-K was not included in the spring count? And also, were they inclusive of the 3,675?
They were not included. The pre-K have a separate collection than the regular K through 5.
So
K through 12.
GSRP is not included in any counts?
They have their own separate count.
Okay.
Yes,
And do we get payment for them as well?
we do. So if you need that, I could pull those numbers for you too.
Just a comment, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Thank
Trustee
you for the
Gross.
information.
You're welcome.
As we near the end of closing school, toward the end of the school year, is it possible that we can discuss or talk about enrollment? How important it is that we pre-enroll during the summer?
Yes, we're going to meet about that eventually.
Yes, we're going to meet about that. We
Yes.
are. And I'm just bringing that out because there's some specific things that we need to do to ensure that parents have a clear understanding about pre-enrollment because of the difficulties we had to get our kids enrolled prior to the next school year.
Yes.
So I think that's the next subject we should be talking about, take a look into. But we will be meeting in the committee to do so.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Trustee Gross, just clarification. Will we also be inclusive of trying to increase attendance enrollment in that situation?
That's something we'll discuss. I think that's important. At one point in time, we were about 4,000 students. Now we're below that. And hopefully we can start getting some students back. And that's because we need to communicate much more clearly and quite often to our parents
We do.
about pre-enrollment.
We do.
Thank you.
Any other questions, board? Comments? Thank you, Ms. Dixon.
Thank you. Hand it over to Jenny Dean.
Good evening, board members, superintendent, and community. I'm so happy to see the showing of the community tonight. We are going to be looking at our winter benchmark data. So this for K-8 is our iReady assessment, which we're looking at students and where they are in relationship to their grade level. We'll wait till we get this pulled up here. So you're going to see some green, yellow, and red, and you're going to see tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So when we're looking at tier 1, we're looking at the students that are currently on grade level. When we look at tier 2, which is the yellow, we're looking at students that are within 1 year below their grade level. Tier 3 is 2 or more years below grade level. So we have a comparison of where we're at in the fall of 2025 to where we're at in the winter of 2026. So ideally what we want to see happening is those red bars shrinking, yellow bars and green bars growing. We are seeing that. We're looking right now at the math proficiency for grades K through 8. At this point of the year, we don't expect 100% of the students to be at grade level because they took this test between January, I think 11th and February 13th. So that would be halfway through the school year. Next slide, please. We also take a look at our proficiencies by demographic, making sure that we're not leaving any one single group further behind, that there's not inequities in our district, and that we're addressing everyone and seeing growth among all of our groups. And then we'll look by school level. So at LCAT, kindergarten through 5th grade, we see growth in the green, except for the 4th grade, they stayed the same. However, you see that their red amount of students 2 or more grade levels below decreased, and we got more of those students in that 1 year below grade level. Harrington, we see an increase with kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, they stayed at 0 as far as students that are at or above grade level currently. But that yellow number of students moving out of that 2 or more grade levels behind did increase. Same trends with ITA. Now we're looking at ITA 6 through 8 because we know we kind of operate as an ITA K5 group and an ITA 6 through 12 group, just to kind of break it down. So looking at our 6 through 8 math proficiency by grade level, again, we see the increases in the green and the yellow, the decreases in the red. And then we go to Owen. With Owen, we saw an increase at all grade levels, except for 3rd and 4th. We did see a decrease in the number of students that are at or above grade level, or percent of students at or above grade level. But we do see that large increase for the 4th grade of students moving out of the 3 grade levels below, or sorry, tier 3, 2 or more grade levels below. Rogers Math, we're seeing an increase across the grade levels. Whitman Math, we've seen an increase across grade levels except for grade 3. We do have a slight increase there of the students moving out of the 2 or more grade levels below into the 1 grade level below. And now looking at Pontiac Middle School math proficiency. 6th grade stayed the same. 7th grade and 8th grade both saw an increase as far as their students on or above grade level, and the number of students coming out of the red into the yellow as well. Okay. Now we're looking at district reading proficiency. Although I'm seeing the slide title says reading, this is math data that you're looking at right now. So this was I'm sorry, this was fixed, I thought, before I sent this to Ms. Wright. I do have the correct information here though, so I'll run it down this from here. Overall, we were at 7% proficient in the fall, and we went up to 18%. Kindergarten went from 8% to 38%. First grade went from 5% to 13%. Second grade went from 4% to 14%. Third grade, 7% to 16%. Fourth grade, 8% to 12%. Fifth grade, 8% to 15%. Eighth grade, 8 to 12%. I'm sorry, sixth grade, 8 to 12%. Seventh grade, 13% to 23%. And eighth grade, 12% to 23%. Okay, looking at the reading proficiency by demographics. So now we're looking at the reading and again, looking at the demographic groups to make sure that we're not leaving anybody behind and creating any or seeing any inequities that we need to address for students. For Alcott's reading proficiency, we see increase among the grade levels. Again, except for fifth grade, we see they stayed the same. Their number of students coming out of that 2 or more grade levels below did decrease and go into the 1 year below grade level. Harrington reading proficiency. ITA. We're seeing the same trends that we typically see this time of year, not seeing the bigger increases that we really need to, and I'm going to address that in just a few minutes. ITA 6 through 8, we're seeing increases in the green and the yellow, decreases in the red. Owen. I want to draw attention to every time we look at kindergarten, we see a big jump of students getting into that proficiency. Then when we get to first grade, second grade, it starts decreasing. And I'm going to talk to that in a little bit. Rogers, please. Whitman. We see fourth grade and fifth grade stayed about the same. Third grade, we saw a decrease. I'm sorry, I'm looking at that wrong. Third grade, we saw a slight increase and then that decrease in the red. Pontiac Middle School reading proficiency. We saw a decrease with sixth grade as far as students on or above grade level, but a large, that 1,200% should not be 1,200%, but in the red on the sixth grade for winter, 12% are in the yellow, 8% in the red. And then we're going to switch over to NWA. NWA is a norm reference test. So when we talk about students that are at or above grade level, we're talking about students that are working at the norm with the other students that take this test in the nation. It's not the same as truly defining their grade level. It's working at a grade level norm. So overall, we were at 32% for math in the fall, and we're at 31% in the winter. We saw the decreases with the students moving out of that 2 or more grade levels below. And when we say 2 or more grade levels below, some students are even more than that. So moving them into that 1 year grade below grade level is a positive sign. Slide. District grades 9 through 12 math. Looking at the demographics. Now we're breaking it down by school level, looking at ITA. And then Pontiac High School. And finally, we'll look at the district overall reading for grades 9 through 12. We did see increases across the board in reading. Next slide, looking at demographics. ITA grades 9 through 12. And Pontiac High School grades 9 through 12. I went through that quickly. It's kind of the same thing that we see every winter. I want to give you some other data that wasn't in this presentation. And I'm going to turn to Pastor Jones again and the community. This is where you come in. Chronic absenteeism is defined as students who miss 10% or more of the school year. So that's 180 days in the school year, so 18 days or more. The state average for students, or the state percentage of students who are chronically absent, 27.9. The county, 25.3. The Pontiac School District, 65.3. And when we pull this number and we look at individual students, we're not seeing they're missing 10 days, 15 days. We're seeing students that are missing 30, 40, 50 days. Ms. Dixon talked to it from the student lens. I'm going to talk to it from the teacher lens. When we have students that miss that much time, if they're missing 30 days of school and you figure we cover a math lesson every 1 to 2 days, that's 15 math lessons that they've missed out on, that now that teacher has to try to catch them up to where everybody else is while still moving on and teaching everybody what they should be learning at that point in time. They're missing 40 days, they're 20 lessons behind. 50 days, they're 25 or more lessons behind. We need to get our students in school. And everything that Ms. Dixon said, I will just echo that. If you see them out there, talk to them, ask them why they're not in school. If you see the kids that are in their homes not coming, knock on the door. We have to get our kids in school.
Trustee Miller.
Ms. Dean, first of all, to the community, everybody, I apologize for my sunglasses. I have a scratch on my cornea and it's extremely painful and I can't see. So with that being said, my apologies to everyone. With that being said, help me understand how we have 75%-ish attendance, but 65.3% of our students have chronic absenteeism.
Because the 75% is average daily attendance rate. So that's on a daily basis, the average of how many students attend. So say we have 4,000 students in the district, which I know we're not there, but just to make numbers even, 4,000 students in the district. If we have 75% attendance that day, 1,000 students are out. And if it's those same students over and over and over again, that's where we run into the number of students being chronically absent being higher.
Okay, I thank you for the
Oh,
clarity.
and I'm sorry, that
Yeah.
was the 24-25 school year, those numbers that I presented. Thank you, Tanya.
Okay.
Trustee Miller, any other questions? Yes, Trustee Gross.
Thank you. We all are aware of the situations that's going on in this country as it pertains to ICE. What is the cause and effect of specific times when ICE is here in Pontiac that has a bearing on our attendance for our students? Because I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, 48 point something percentage of our students are of Hispanic background, right? It's about the same now. That's almost half of our students in this district. So you're talking close to almost 2,000 students. And if there's some situations or concerns as it pertains to their safety or being removed, what is the cause and effect on this attendance based on ICE's presence or even the thought of ICE being here?
So I could tell you, hi, thank you. That's a good question. I could tell you that a lot of our families are moving within Pontiac or moving outside of Pontiac. And if they do that, we can't provide them transportation to school. So I don't know if Dr. Lisa wants to, he's like, go ahead, Tanya. Thank you, Dr. Lisa. Okay, so I would say maybe a day doesn't go by that Dr. Lisa or Carmen, they're getting video, text about ICE being in a certain area, and the families that have their own What's Up app or group chat. So when those texts go out, those families retreat. They go home, they stay home. And there's nothing we could do about it because we can't provide them the protection on the way to school. Once they're here, they can. But they're out there. Carmen, Dr. Lisa, they're getting text messages. One morning, one of I won't say her name, but she called me really upset because she had actually seen a child getting put in the back of an ICE car. So she gave me the video. I sent it to Carmen, and immediately she was able to identify what school, what parent it was, but it was nothing we could do. So yeah, so they're fearful. Oh, you're here.
Thank you. I just want to make a quick comment. Today, I'm glad you brought that up. Today, we lost 8 families because of the ICE situation. It is a very real situation that's impacting Pontiac. We are supporting the families and letting them know that it is a safe haven here, but what's happening in the community is very real and it is impacting our district.
Oh, and before we could even, I feel like and before we even pull a student out, we may not even know that they're not here. Well, we know that they're not here, but Carmen, Blanca, they're calling and finding out that the parent, they've already moved. They're returned to their home country. And so they're absent until we can prove that they're actually gone.
And lastly, I know we have a working relationship with Oakland Schools as it pertains to a truancy liaison and a truancy officer, but I am aware of the concerns that dealing with truancy, things are not being done at the court right now to prevent our kids from coming. And there's no consequences for the truancy at this time, not like it had been in the past. That has affected our attendance as well. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll add to that. I spoke with Miss Long. She's our truancy officer. Yes, and they put on the docket a couple of our families, and because there's no fear, they did not even show up to court. So
That's correct.
If they're not showing up to court, then it's a struggle to actually get them to show up in school.
And the reason why I'm asking these questions, I'm glad Pastor Jones is here because these are some of the things that we needed to, and I'm saying that because you said you guys are willing to lend a hand as it pertains to helping us with the attendance. And I think it's important that in your congregations that we talk about the importance of families sending their kids to school, if there's any difficulties and concerns, because I know that there's those of Hispanic race within your churches, and that we can start communicating through the churches how important it is to the parents to have their kids come to schools if there are any concerns or they feel like they're unsafe. The schools are here, the churches are here. I'm asking, is that okay to say that statement?
And let me apologize for sitting. That's fine. I think everybody can hear me. I'm listening to the numbers and the activity. I'm getting some ideas.
Thank you.
I know tomorrow you guys will be at the meeting, and we will bring that up. But I think there's
Point of order, Madam Chair.
That's one of the things that I was going to ask of your committee and the churches, because we're hearing and seeing what the problems are. We are. It is very concerning with ICE being here and what's going on, because some kids have fear of even coming out of their homes. And also within our African-American families, some parents are either too busy or kids are just not coming to school. And I think these are the messages that we need to relate throughout the entire city, this district, And churches are an integral part of this because people are attending. So we can talk to them about that. That's my concern. That's why I'm bringing this up. And because I am a truancy liaison also through Oakland Schools, but it's a conflict. I can't work in Pontiac and have surrounding districts in Oakland County. And I wish I could work here. However, that program works if we're committed. And that's the key. We all have to be committed. You cannot teach an empty chair, period. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Gross. Trustee Dooley.
Hey, Ms. Dixon. As we continually see this data that is dismal, are we creating new initiatives and strategies to close this achievement gap? And what I'm referencing basically, because we know ICE is in our community and many of our Hispanic parents are staying home, having their children stay home, have you even given it any discussion regarding going back to the Chromebook teaching like we did in COVID? So we can try to not let the gap continue to divide. What types of initiatives or strategies are you guys thinking of putting in place? Because we know there's a direct correlation between the delivery of instruction and learning. So I'm just throwing that out there to say we need to look at alternative ways to deliver instruction to our students so we can ensure that this gap of lack of learning does not continue to perpetuate in our community because we want to be proactive.
So there's a lot to that. We've been doing a lot of work with strategic planning. We know we had goals that came out of the strategic plan. We have to do Michigan Integrated Continuous Improvement Plan and align those goals to the strategic plan. We've been doing program evaluation, looking at the programs that we're currently doing, what the impact is of them, and if we're going to continue them, stop them, or start something new. As far as Chromebook learning, I know one thing that I can say is we have, and maybe, I don't know if anybody is here from, no. The number of students that actually came and checked out Chromebooks, like parents that came and checked out Chromebooks for the family so that they have that at home, because we have Google Classroom. Teachers put their work in Google Classroom. We have with K-8 the online learning path where students can go on and they can work on things with skills that they're missing. But if they don't have the computers, they can't do that. So that's another piece that we have to look at with how can we address that issue. And I'll let Dr. Devison. Oh yeah, no, I'll let Ms. Dixon speak to the whole virtual thing.
Yeah, so unfortunately, with the way things are now, we can't host like a virtual school like we did when it was COVID. So that forces our hand to get those kids in school in order to provide instruction.
One final thing, in looking at the data that you presented, one occurring theme is they come in pretty good in kindergarten. But as we look at the data, they begin to take a dive. So my question would be, after you look at this, what are you planning to do as it relates to keeping the kindergartens on the right track? Because if you look at the data, after first grade, it goes down, down, down. And if one thing I know could be, it's a suggestion, of course, you know, I'm passionate about education, but it's just a suggestion. If we do a teacher audit, we can look and ensure that people are properly placed. We can also look at their test scores and strategically position people in place. So I would not necessarily let these kindergartners go to a teacher that record is not producing great grades, because we would lose that. So again, these are just suggestions as you create. We haven't had a curriculum meeting for our committee part. We haven't had one in a while. So I haven't been able to share this information, but those are some things to start looking at. Let's reassess and look at our placement of teachers. We all know, anyone that was ever an educator know, we have some good teachers, we have some not so good teachers, and we have some that aspire. So those are some things to look at as we place our children with teachers. And then lastly, we just have to become more creative. I know you stated last time that they are offered professional development, but they decline. So hypothetically, we cannot allow employees to tell employers what to do. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Dooley. And that is all things that we're discussing as we're looking at the MyKit plans, as we're looking at the, what's the other one? Program evaluation and the strategic plan. We've been meeting a lot, talking about a lot of those things, and that was lifted. I actually lifted that to say, if we look at where we're at in kindergarten and then where they're at by the time we get to third grade, we have to stop that bleed at K2. So those are things that we know we're discussing, and they have been lifted as far as looking at both talent management and programs that we're offering the students.
Thank you. Trustee Miller.
So what I'm hearing just recently is that we have lost eight families as a direct result of ICE, which is a tragic loss for those families in this community, especially our students. So ICE, is it really ICE that's preventing our students from coming to school? Or should we be revisiting and looking at what is the real problem? Because if we've lost 8 families out of the 3,500-ish students, and we got 65.3% that have missed more than 18 days, what's really the problem that we need to start addressing? We can't keep blaming it on ICE because that's an easy point.
No. And when we have looked at the data with principals, looked at their building level data, broken it down, just like when I present demographic data, we've looked to see, are we seriously seeing the bigger jump with our English language learners, and is ICE an impact? And it certainly does have an impact, but there are many other impacts, and we have looked into all of that.
All right, Trustee Gross.
What we have not heard, and I think it's important, we have not heard about how important it is when classrooms are disrupted with inappropriate behaviors and how it's affecting their progress. I think that's something we need to take a look at, how important it is, classroom disruptions, students not adhering to rules, regulations, and just flat out of control. Thank you. And so I'm asking, when we do these reports, if we can implement or provide us the information, what these problems are causing and how much, because in a classroom, and I'm not trying to preach, but in a classroom, one apple does spoil the bunch because the focus is now on disruption instead of learning. We've not heard that. That has not been given to us in the statistics. So please, if you can provide that at a later time, what that costs. I recall me being on this board for 14 years. I've seen things in the past, and we've had teachers. We had a teacher who had given out 750 referrals in high school. Haven't seen that information again. And I would like to see, if possible, for the board to be able to see what disruptions are causing or how is it affecting our kids' learning, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Not today, I know you gave us what you had, but I think that's even more important, and it's just as important as absenteeism.
President, I would like to, I'm sorry, Trustee Gross, were you finished?
Yes, I'm done now.
Okay, President handed through the chair to Trustee Gross.
Sorry.
Through the chair to Trustee Gross. Thank you for requesting that information. I'm going to further request, and this wouldn't be a request from Ms. Dean, that the information that is provided to this board about the disruptions in the schools are accurate. Please let them be accurate. It has been my experience that some of the presentations, especially when it comes to what's going on in the school districts, what's presented to this board, is grossly inaccurate. So we can't get down to the problem if we're being presented numbers that potentially just make us look like we're not doing as bad as we are. We can't fix it if we don't get to the root issue. So anything, as for example, what Trustee Gross is requesting, please please ensure that these numbers are accurate. As a trustee, I do not want to continue to sit up here knowing that these numbers are inaccurate. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments for Ms. Dean? Thank you, Ms. Dean.
Thank you.
All right, moving down the agenda to our finance items team. Dr. Leverett?
Yes, at this time, we will turn it over to Catherine for our monthly financial report updates. Catherine.
All right. So we're in February, which we're about 67% through the school year. And so we're going to look at the various funds and where we're at from a cash flow perspective, as well as our accrual income statements. So as we can see at the end of February here, we're at about $44 million of cash within the general fund. If you were to compare that at the same time last year, we'd have about $35 million. So it appears as if we have an influx of cash in comparative time frame. However, we do need to keep in mind, and when we go to the accrual statements, that we have about $3.6 million that is in that cash for designated for the EV hub. And then last year at that time frame, we also had purchased $8 million of the new EV buses. So the cash does fluctuate throughout the year, but we're consistently saying if we were to look at it at about that $42 million level as we move through the year. And that's about 3.5 months worth of expenditures that we keep on reserve right now. And then if we go to the next, this is with our tax anticipation note. So in the past, this breaks it down by year, and it shows with the tax anticipation notes and without them. And as you can see, in the earlier years, we really needed to issue those tax anticipation notes to get us through those months where the property taxes weren't flowing in. And because really what that did was kind of we issued the notes in order to receive property taxes up front. As we've stabilized our fund balance in the general fund, you can see that really now when we get to the last 2 years, with and without is identical. And that's why we are not feeling the need in order to issue tax anticipation notes for this year, which is a great move forward for the Pontiac School District. If we move to the next graph, this is a new graph. What this shows everyone is how the revenue comes in. So about 60% of our revenue, 58% of our revenue is from property taxes. And what you can see it's summer taxes, it's the 18 mills because we're out of formula. You can see that those come in August, September, October. And that's the majority of our funding that's coming in those 3 months. So when we go to our accrual statement, we'll see our revenue is looking at a larger percentage, but we still have, a few months left in the year until the end of the school year. So we have to conservatively save those dollars in order to budget them through the year. But this gives you a good picture of how that flows in, I think, and the other pieces as well. This is just a picture of our cash balances in general fund. We just looked at the cash flow for the general fund at $44.7 million, food service, student activity, internal service. So these are different funds that serve our needs. Our debt fund at $5 million, and our bond series fund, which is set, for our next capital improvements. And then our sinking fund as well, which as we get to the accrual statements, we have 5.2 for the EV hub and some other expenditures as well. So we can look at this overall as what our cash position is, but I think we need to look at it at the income statements to really see how is it relative to where we're at and what our needs are as we move forward. So this is our general fund. And as you can see, our current budget after Amendment 1, we have about $100.8 million of a budget. We're at $74 million. So we're at 73.4% of our total revenue to date. We're about 67% through the year. But again, because those property taxes come in a little earlier, we're always going to show that a little ahead of where you'd see your expenditures at for the year. So then we go to the expenditure side, we're at 104 million for a budget. And to date, we're at 55 million. So we're about at 54%. And as you can see, the different categories and the board has the packet that details out everything that rolls into those dollar amounts. So at the current point, we're at 54% through the year. And we can see that we're running consistently, comparative to last year. One item that would look larger than last year in expenditures would be the debt service, but that's because we paid the tax anticipation note of $4.5 million off early this year. So we'll end up, where we need to be by the end of the year, but that's why it's skewing a little higher. Capital outlay as well. We had the buses, the second fleet of buses that we ended up purchasing for $5 million. And so that's why that's skewing a little ahead. And then if we go to the next slide, this just gives you a good picture. I think if we just look at the left-hand graph, that's year to date, and we can see where our revenue sources are coming in the pie graph. So we basically have 58% is coming in for property taxes, 21% state aid, 18% grants, and 3% PA18, which is for special education. And that's the majority of our revenue year to date. Obviously, if we just look at 1 month at a time, that's going to skew a little bit. But I think the left-hand side is a better picture of where those dollars are coming from year to date. And then if we look at the next, this takes our general fund expenditures and again, puts it in the same places. So if we look at each piece, instruction, pupil services, improvement of instruction, and we look at maintenance, security, transportation, other development of staff, athletics, all of those items that support our student base is over 85% of our spend. So the other expenditures that make up that additional 15% that we have to have administration and those type of things to support everything, we try to keep that to a minimum. So you can really see here that we try to always funnel the dollars to where it matters. All right, and then this is just for everyone's knowledge to just give you a good explanation of what's in every category for general fund: local property taxes, state funding, federal, other financing sources. So you can see what's coming in there and the expenditures again. Just a reference for everyone to look at. All right, and food service. So our food service right now, this is our food service fund. And again, right now we would appear to be running a bit at a deficit, but that's really because we're waiting for some federal funding to come in for January and February. That'll get us back up to where we need to be to match those expenditures to date. Debt fund. So again, this is our debt fund with our cash. Right now, we have $5.5 million in cash in the debt fund. Our debt is about $7.5 million, which you'll see in our operating statement. We've paid $2.5 million to date of that debt that's involved in that debt fund. So that 5.5 is enough to get us through the year to pay the remaining of the debt. The sinking fund, again, we have $5.2 million, as you can see in there. We have a budget, and we'll see that in our accrual statements. But basically, this sinking fund is going to fund the EV hub, as well as other maintenance and emergency purchases that need to occur during the year. Okay. So this gives you this actually is a nicer view to put that cash flow into perspective. So we see our debt fund here, and we see that we have $7.4 million coming in. We're at 90% of that flowing in, and that's property taxes. That's a levy that comes in. And then we see currently to date, we've had bond interest expenses of 2.5%. And then what we have left for the year in debt that I mentioned is the difference between the two, which is about 5 million, which we have sitting in the debt fund in order to ensure we're adequately funded to pay the remaining of the year debt. And then the sinking fund, if we move to that, we have $7.9 million. Well, let's go to the current budget. We have $3.1 million. That's our levy that comes in each year. We have 2.6 that's come to date, including the interest that we've earned on that. To date, we've only spent $618,000 on miscellaneous projects. We have the $7.9 million in the budget for the year, with the majority of that reflecting the $3.8 million for the EV hub is really the majority of that. And then if we go to, this is our bond series. So we have $17 million in there. You can see at the end, that's our ending cash balance. And as we know, we did have that last Series 3 bond issuance in order for us to support our capital expenditures. The majority of that right now is designated for Rogers. And Rogers is about, let me see, I have that about, I think we're at about $13 million designated for Rogers as we move through that year. That'll absorb those dollars for that bond series. And then if we move on to the next slide, this is just showing you in an income statement format again, what our current budget is. You see that 18.5 million, which was at Series 3 bonds coming in, other financing sources. Year to date, we've already received those dollars. And then you also see the building improvements that are in place. So with Rogers, we've estimated what we'll spend through the end of June on Rogers at this point, and that's at $10.6 million. The last slide is just if we had any emergency purchases during the year. Sometimes there'll be things that the sinking fund needs to take care of, a boiler goes or those type of pieces. We really haven't had any emergency purchases that were of significance. We'll have this budget that I've reflected in all of the slides is reflective of the first budget amendment that we passed as a board, the board passed, and we will have a second budget amendment that will include the impact of the ratified contracts that are currently under negotiation.
Catherine, we have a question.
Yep, I'm sorry.
Trustee Miller.
Yep.
Hello, good evening. Just for clarity purposes, to my understanding, the bid that was presented to the board that was approved was $14 million for Rogers. And I thought I heard you say 13 million. Has that been corrected to 13, or is it what was voted on, which was 14 million?
Let me see, 12.4. No, I think you're right. It's 14 million because we also have, so I was a little low on that because we have the contingency part of it too.
Did you have a question too, Trustee Miller? Is that it? Yes, that's it. Trustee Dooley.
Couple of things. One, respectfully, I'm asking that you enlarge the presentation in the font when you give us this. This is like a 3-point and we're doing dollars.
Okay.
It should be a little bigger.
Okay.
So I can see. Last time you were before us, I asked you a question regarding an $800,000 line item. And I'm not quite sure, based on the response I received, and I want to read it. Good question, Trustee Dooley. The expenditures will be in the audit report once the fiscal year ends. I'm more than willing to explain the budgets, expenditures, revenues, and department budgets when you are available. These expenditures are current through to 28-26. Updated numbers will be current once the P-card journal entry is posted for February. We'll have it posted tomorrow. So I'm trying to get a final understanding of what that $800,000 covers, because you said it wasn't necessarily the board's budget. And in response to that, you said it was a couple of things combined. While I definitely state I need more training and understanding to follow a budget. That's why I'm consistently requesting a forensic audit be performed for the district. Can you explain to me, because I have two opposing forces telling me one president of an organization is saying it's is, and then I have another president of an organization saying it is not. So can you bring clarity to exactly what that $800,000 covers and how much is actually allocated to board spending?
Yes, we can give the breakdown of that because there's legal expenditures in there and other expenditures. And so I think what we do need to give you is the breakdown of that. So I think after this meeting, we'll do that because there's other expenditures. It's not just for board expenditures. There's other expenditures, and a large part of it is legal and other items as well.
This is like my third time having this
Okay.
discussion, and you don't have this information ready for us yet?
We do, so I will get it to you first thing in the morning. And then you'll see the different line items. Okay?
Chris, do you want to add?
Yep. Yeah, Chris, go ahead. Do you have it with you? Did you run it? Okay. All right.
Good evening, board. That information was requested the last meeting, and you had you had the report given to Dr. Hannah, yourself, Trustee Dooley, and a detailed report outlining what every expenditure line made up that $800,000. And I'm willing to, like I said, I'm going to extend the offer again. I'm willing to meet with you and go over any line item you want. But you had all that information as requested that next morning.
So so let me be clear. You're saying you immediately compiled the information and you sent it to our president?
He sent it to the president and Trustee Dooley.
Oh,
Yes.
no, I don't have it.
I'd be more than happy to resend that,
Thank
Trustee
you,
Dooley.
Chris. Trustees, any other questions for?
I just want to make a
Catherine?
statement. That information should go to the full board. I only have one vote.
Okay.
We will send that to the entire board. Thank you, Trustee Dooley.
Thank you, Chris. Any other questions? Trustees? Yes, is that the end of your report, Catherine?
Yes, that's the
Yes,
end.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Miller has another question for you.
Being that we should be in the process as a board preparing, having discussions for our 2026, 2027 budget. When can we expect to have some dates to sit down to discuss what we should be looking at for our 2026, 2027? My concern is that the first reading has to be in June, and this is almost April. And I don't want to be the last minute trying to prepare a budget and have it accurate and submitted to our community for approval of this board. That's my concern.
Thank you, Trustee Miller. As soon as we come back from spring break, we are going to work on the amended budget number 2, and we're starting to focus on the 26-27 budget as well. We do that at the same time, and we would be more than happy, and we will meet with you guys once that process starts. So thank you for asking that.
Thank you very much. So one more question.
Yes, go ahead.
So Chris, I know that you have been serving in many capacities. Just for clarity, are you guys co-facilitating with finances? I thought that, Ms. Catherine, that you were the person that was orchestrating this. It just appears as if when we at times have a question, then, you have to refer to Mr. Ewald here. So I just want to know, who should we, if we have some questions as a board?
I think we collaborate together. So he would be the controller, which runs the general ledger. And that wraps up into the finances, of which then I analyze, we discuss together, and we go through it together. So we're a team.
So are you working along with someone else, Mr. Holcomb or someone else for the budget? Are there other persons working on the budget?
You were done? Okay.
So the previous CFO, Jim, is mentoring us, and he would like to be kind of completed with his duties by the end of June, but he's mentoring us in order to bring this forward in a organized manner.
And you may or may not have this, and I understand if you don't have the answer, but is the mentoring, what's the word for free? Or are we paying pro bono? Thank you, Trustee Gross. Couldn't think of it. Is he doing that pro bono, or are we paying him a fee? So then I will direct it to the superintendent. Thank you, Trustee Gross.
We're paying him a fee.
Any other questions, trustees? Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, moving down the agenda to curriculum and instruction, Dr. Leverett.
Thank you. At this time, I'll turn it over to Dr. Devison. This is for discussion and action, the Robotics Team World Championship, George R. Brown Convention Center.
Before she asks, can I ask a question? They must have won the states in order to go into the United.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good evening to the board and to our community. You all look fine out there, D9. I just wanted to bring to your attention Robotics Team World Championship, George R. Brown Convention Center. Background rationale, Robotics Team World Championship, George R. Brown Convention Center. This event continues to inspire young people to become science and technology leaders by engaging them in mentor-based robotic programs that build STEM skills, foster innovation, and develop leadership qualities. The funding source is the Pontiac Robotics 501c3. The recommendation. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Education approves the Pontiac Robotic Team overnight travel to Robotic Team World Championship, George R. Brown Convention Center on April 27th through May 3rd, 2026.
Thank you very much, trustees. Any questions? Trustee Miller?
Dr. Devison, I know that, I can't read this. I know that just for confirmation, everything is going to be all inclusive. They don't have to raise any funds. They don't have it, whatever is in this packet, that's what they're going to need to travel, and they'll be all set.
Absolutely. And it's
Okay.
by the Pontiac Robotics. They have a 501c3.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, can I get a motion for the approval of the robotics overnight field trip request world championship competition in Houston, Texas? It's been,
Moved by Trustee Dooley.
thank you, moved by Trustee Dooley, supported by Trustee Gross for the approval of the robotics overnight field trip request world championship competition in Houston, Texas. Any questions? Roll call.
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Dooley,
Yes.
Trustee Gross.
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
that passes 6-0.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
And
you so much.
Congratulations to our robotics team. All right. All right, thank you. Now, moving down our agenda to board comments and announcements. Board trustees shall start with Trustee Gross.
Yes.
Thank you.
Before you do that, are you going to do it in your discussion to recognize these wonderful people that are here this evening from the most prestigious fraternities and sororities? Or should I say that? Dr. Hannah?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I want to defer to you recognizing them.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
yield my discussion to recognize them.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anything else, though? Trustee Gross, any more comments or?
I too am a member of one of the most wonderful fraternities in the world. I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and it looked like I'm the only one representing. I see my brothers in the crimson and cream, but it's wonderful to see all of you here. And not only wonderful, it's all to see. It looked like I got a lot of friends in every one of them, and I love each and every one of you. And God bless and thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. Trustee Dooley.
Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to see everyone here tonight. I'd like to see this type of turnout every week. Congratulations to those teachers receiving a nomination for Teacher of the Year. Special thank you to Pastor Jones on behalf of the Greater Pontiac Coalition to partner and support the community engagement as we build for achievement, emotional, mental issues, innovation, and sustainability. We certainly welcome you to work in concert with us as we bridge the gap to bring this community together as we walk hand in hand. I also want to share, I was presented this award on Sunday. It's called the Mother Ella Murphy Legacy Award, presented to Trustee Jennifer Dooley in recognition of her servitude and dedication to the Pontiac residents. Proverbs 31:25, strength and dignity are her clothing. It came from Bishop William H. Murphy Jr. and First Lady Donna Murphy and the Women's History Month. I am a 2026 trailblazer, so I thank them for that. I just want to encourage participation. We have seats will become available. If you've ever thought about doing your civic duty and being a part of a board of education, please start coming to these meetings. Come to our governor's meeting so you can understand the processes that we employ as we go about our business. Again, it was great to see, but the best group out there, those Zetas, they are in their blue and white. So thank you, my sisters, for coming out. Look to see you out. But certainly, we love each and every one of you, all of you. We work together in concert to bring about change and for the good of everyone. And as we remember too, we're as strong as our weakest link, is it? So as we lock arms together, let's support one another. Let's build one another up. Let's encourage one another, because we are the light for our students. As we, I'm using my minutes. No, I'm finished. Thank you again for coming out, and please come out again. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Miller.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to start off again, for those who couldn't hear me earlier, my sincerest apologies for sitting here with these dark, as a friend of mine said, Mary J. Blige, sunglasses on. I have a severe injury to my eye, and it is incredibly painful to sit under the lights, and this is the best form of relief that I can receive. So it's not that I'm the lack of approachability is I really just can't see. So thank you for being patient with me with that. Happy spring, everyone. I look forward to congratulations to all the teacher recognitions and the award recipients from our high school. I look forward to the spring sports that will be coming along. Myself, I am playing women's football, tackle football for Detroit Prowl. It's an adult women's football league. So if you guys want to come and see me play, I'm number 43, defensive end and linebacker. No. Oh, that's right. And that's all I have. And Trustee Dooley wants a portion of mine. I will yield some of that time to her.
I forgot to wish my colleague a happy 44th birthday. She will be 44 years old. And well, she said 24, but her birthday is in the next 2 days. And I just wanted to officially say happy birthday to Trustee Tanisha Miller.
Thank you.
It's nice to be loved on.
All right, thank you. Secretary Davis Smith.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out. I wanted to congratulate our Pontiac High students who met benchmarks in math and reading. Also, congratulations to our robotics team. Congratulations to our 3 teachers who were nominees for Oakland County Outstanding Teachers of the Year. Congratulations to our very own Gregory Gross for his courageous act. And lastly, I completely agree with Ms. Dixon and Ms. Dean. It takes a village for our students. Learning starts at home, and our students need all of us to come together to give the quality and equitable education that we want for them. I know it took a village for me and my siblings, as well as my children. And there's a lot of people in the audience, teachers, PAO officers who helped along the way, my neighbors. And it takes us all as well for our students. So I just believe that we all need to come together as one to help our students to be successful that we want, the way we want them to be successful, and give them the encouragement to be whatever it is that they want to be. And that is it for tonight. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you. Treasurer Terry.
All right, good evening. My trustees pretty much said it all, so I want to say congratulations to everyone that did receive an award or got recognitions. Congratulations, and to the students. Keep up the good work. And thank you everyone for coming out, all the fraternities and sororities out here. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming out, showing some love. And I got to give a shout out, to my Cabot brothers back there. Good to see you guys. Thanks for coming out as well. Have a good evening.
All right, thank you. Those were all pretty fast. So we know March is Women's History Month. So we do take this time to honor all of the women, their contribution to history and to our society. So I want to thank especially these women that serve on this Board of Education, our superintendent, for the work that we contribute to the Pontiac School District. I want to also thank the women of the D9 who are here representing, for especially for your service in this community for decades. To all of the women that serve this community, whether it's through advocacy, whether it's for women's rights, or just addressing the critical issues that we face within our community in science, in education, and government, and beyond. Special thank you to all the women for the work that you do. I really appreciate the D9 for showing up. We did make a call because sometimes your presence just makes all the difference in the world. So I thank you, not asking why, what, you just said, I'll be there. And so I appreciate you just being here. Summer school, have an announcement regarding summer school registration. It is open. Summer school registration is open. Elementary students will meet at Whitman. Middle school and high school will meet at Pontiac High School. Harrington students only will meet at Harrington. And so students, families, you can register your students at those respective schools. Congratulations again to the students that were acknowledged today. This is why we're here. And I'm happy, just like Dr. Leverett said, you got to see a small glimpse of what we try to aim for in excellence in all of our students. But I'm glad you all were here to witness that and see that we are producing some great talented students here in the Pontiac School District. And also to our teachers that were nominated for Teacher of the Year. That says a lot. Their work speaks for themselves. So again, when we talk about what's good happening in Pontiac School District, you all by being here today got to see it firsthand, and you didn't have to wait for social media to tell you or not tell you, but you all saw what we are trying to do in this community, in this school district. So again, congratulations to all of those, and especially to our PAO for his support, for his quick thinking and quick response. We thank you for being on the job and doing what you do. Community matters. It matters. A gentleman said to me, it takes a village. It takes a village. And you are part of that village. When we talked about the data tonight about our students' academic achievement, that's always a hard conversation for us. And I looked at the looks on everybody's faces, and it's not anything that we're proud of, but it's not anything, we can't shy away from the facts. The numbers speak for themselves. But what you also heard was academics and attendance go together. So if the students aren't here, they can't learn. So this is where we say community, village. We need you to tap on your neighbor's door. We need you to talk to your nieces and nephews and the mothers in your churches and tell them, we need you to make sure your kids are going to school. Because if they are not in school, they are not learning. So please, this is where we need your support. The one thing that we did not talk about or we didn't bring up is parent engagement. The parents, at what point do we hold our parents accountable for their kids' learning? I know everybody want to point the finger and we all want to find a place to put blame, but again, community, we need your support to make sure that your parents that you see, whether in the beauty shop, at the barber shop, or in the churches, you make sure that your parents are doing what they need to do to make sure their kids are getting the education that they need, because we're showing up, our teachers are showing up to do their jobs, but we need our community and we need our parents to come up and do what they're supposed to do as well. So I want to again say happy birthday to Trustee Tanisha Miller, and again tell you all thank you so much for showing up and being here just to support the Pontiac School District. I really appreciate it. We appreciate it. So with that, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
It's been moved by Trustee Dooley and supported by Trustee Gross to adjourn the meeting. Any questions? Roll call.
Treasurer Terry,
Yes.
I'm voting yes. Trustee Dooley,
Yes.
Trustee Gross.
Yes.
President Hannah,
Yes.
Trustee Miller,
Yes.
that passes 6-0.
Thank you. The time is now 7:44 p.m. and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night.
Yes.